I am Paul Brochu, and I am an appointed rep of the United Pentecostal Church here to the country of France. We've been here for 28 years. We have seen a lot of things happen in 28 years. We actually arrived 5 years before that on the AIM program and served also in Luxembourg and in Germany. Paris Center Church is soon to celebrate its 13th anniversary. And for most of those years, I served as pastor here. And the current lead pastor, Baron Carson, was my assistant for the last 6 years of that time. I also have the responsibility of serving as area coordinator for Western Europe here in the Europe region. And my responsibilities have taken on a much greater depth. I am on the road often and would not be in a position to pastor a local church. With Pastor Carson's great ability, he's been able actually to take this work to a higher level and has done a great job, but it has also liberated me to be able to give myself to these other nations in Western Europe where I also have responsibilities. So Paris is our home church. I love Paris as much as I have ever loved Paris. It's a beautiful city. It's a great church to come back to. We've been in Europe for over 30 years, and over the course of decades, the work here, the apostolic work in Europe, though it had periods of revival, the surge and the move of strong and expansive development in a continent that was really driven by secular humanism and bad souvenirs of times of religion. People really were not looking for any answers within religion. And so over the course of decades, the work began small with the hundreds of thousands of troops that were here from the United States through to the 1990s. I remember many years conferences held here in Europe were in great part both financed and attended by American families that were stationed here. And Europeans came along, but they weren't in great numbers. And the Lord sent American forces at the same time that each of these various nations in Europe seemed to be growing in number and in really spiritual authority. Evangelizing these nations, they grew, they began their own conferences, they became very strong works within themselves. During that time also, the Lord seemed to send foreign workers, foreign students that came in converted, many Filipinos, for instance, that I remember some people saying, well, you know, our churches in Europe have so many Asians, for instance. But you know, God was sending a prayer force to really hold up the work and promote His work with people that were praying and interceding and fasting when the European element was not yet there. My greatest joy has been to see the church in Europe impacted and even led now by Europeans, where there's no longer a total dependence on foreign help, spiritually, even financially. But the work of God is going strong in Europe. That's been wonderful to see. I would say to our brethren that the love of God, of course, is universal. And the Spirit of God has always been attracted to people who are hungry and thirsty. And you can go to the most atheistic, entrenched societies. You can go to the most prohibitive societies. You can go to nations in the world that are governed by dictators that give absolutely no freedom of religion or personal liberties to anyone. But everywhere you'll find hungry people. You'll find thirsty people, and God knows who they are. And the key is for us to remain sensitive to either allow the Lord lead us to them or for the Lord to lead them to us. But we've got to keep our focus on Him, because where we see mountains and impossibilities, such as was the case even just a few decades ago here in Europe, the Lord hears the cry of the lost, and His Spirit moves, because He's always been attracted to hungry and thirsty people. So I would ask our brethren in North America to pray for Europe. It is a tremendous revival field currently. We have seen people come from circumstances, backgrounds, even foreign students, foreign workers, find God, more specifically here at Paris Center Church. It's our base of operation, in ways that we could never have initiated ourselves. We could have never orchestrated the circumstances. Well, you know, Jesus' prayer was that for more laborers, because the harvest is already ripe. And without sounding sappy or too cliche, that continues to be the greatest need. The power of God is there. Faith is there among the people, but we've got horrendously more need than we have laborers. And for people to be able to think out of their box, out of their comfort zone, and allow their heart to be touched by the cry of the masses, be it at home or in a foreign country.